In today's video, we dive deep into the stories of 10 Hollywood stars who were notorious for their drinking habits, from the charming swashbuckler Errol Flynn to the comedic genius John Belushi. These actors' personal battles with alcohol often overshadowed their illustrious careers. While their professional lives shined brightly, their off-screen struggles with substance abuse were just as famous, affecting not only their health, but also their relationships and careers. Join us as we explore how these stars' alcohol-fueled lifestyles impacted their lives, their work, and the legacy they left behind in Hollywood. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from Hollywood's most shocking behind-the-scenes moments. Richard Burton was as famous for his talent as he was for his drinking. With his mesmerizing voice and commanding presence, he became one of the greatest Shakespearean actors of all time. However, his personal life was riddled with struggles, many of them fueled by alcohol. Burton started drinking heavily at a young age, and over time, it became an inseparable part of his life. His tumultuous relationship with Elizabeth Taylor was legendary, often filled with passionate fights and reconciliations, many of which were influenced by his drinking. On film sets, directors had to take special measures to ensure he could perform sober, but even then, he often showed up intoxicated. During the filming of Cleopatra and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, his drinking was a well-known issue, though his performances remained exceptional. It was said that he consumed an entire bottle of whiskey daily. Over the years, the toll of alcohol abuse led to serious health complications, and despite several attempts to get clean, he ultimately succumbed to its effects. Richard Burton passed away at the age of 58, leaving behind a legacy of both brilliance and self-destruction. Peter O'Toole was a rare blend of genius and recklessness, a man whose love for acting was only rivaled by his love for alcohol. The Lawrence of Arabia star was known for his intense performances, but behind the scenes, he was a notorious drinker. His drinking habits were so legendary that he once claimed he had no recollection of certain film shoots because he was too drunk to remember. O'Toole's heavy drinking affected his career and personal life in significant ways. There were times when he would show up to set intoxicated, forcing directors to adjust their schedules. Yet, even in his most inebriated states, his raw talent shined through, making him one of the most respected actors of his time. His body, however, suffered the consequences. In the 1970s, he was diagnosed with pancreatitis and underwent multiple surgeries. Doctors warned him that if he continued drinking, it would kill him. He eventually slowed down but never completely gave up alcohol. Despite his wild ways, O'Toole lived to the age of 81, a miracle considering his decades of heavy drinking. His charm, wit, and legendary performances cemented his place in Hollywood history, though his struggles with alcohol remained an inseparable part of his story. Oliver Reed was the very definition of a hard-drinking Hollywood wildman. Known for his tough guy roles and commanding screen presence, he lived his life with the same intensity he brought to his films. His drinking habits were the stuff of legend. He didn't just drink, he drank to excess, often out-drinking entire bars full of people. Reed was known to challenge fellow actors, sailors, and even complete strangers to drinking contests which he almost always won. His alcohol-fueled antics often made headlines. From brawling in pubs to outrageous public behavior, Reed embraced his reputation as Hollywood's last real hellraiser. Directors and co-stars struggled to keep him in check, as his drinking frequently disrupted productions. During the filming of Gladiator, his final role, Reed spent a night drinking heavily at a bar in Malta, reportedly downing 8 pints of lager, a dozen shots of rum, and half a bottle of whiskey. He suffered a fatal heart attack that same night, leaving behind a legacy of both brilliant performances and infamous drinking escapades. Despite his self-destructive ways, Oliver Reed remains a symbol of raw, untamed Hollywood energy. You see, Fields was one of Hollywood's greatest comedic legends, But behind his sharp wit and signature grumpy persona lay a lifelong battle with alcohol. Fields didn't just enjoy drinking, he made it a core part of his identity. He often carried a flask filled with a mix of gin and orange juice, which he jokingly referred to as his breakfast drink. Even during filming, he kept bottles disguised as props, ensuring he always had access to liquor. Despite his heavy drinking, Fields remained incredibly disciplined in his work. His comedic timing and sarcastic humor made him a household name in the early days of Hollywood. However, as the years went on, alcohol took a toll on his health. His famous bulbous nose, often mistaken as part of his comedic image, was actually a result of long-term alcohol abuse. By the 1940s, Fields's drinking had led to serious health complications, including cirrhosis. Though he attempted to cut back, the damage had already been done. He spent his final years in poor health, isolated from many of his old friends. When he passed away in 1946, he left behind a legacy of unforgettable performances and an unshakable reputation as one of Hollywood's most devoted drinkers. Errol Flynn was the quintessential Hollywood heartthrob of the 1930s and 1940s, but behind the charming smile and swashbuckling roles lay a man whose love for alcohol often overshadowed his career. Flynn was known for his larger-than-life persona both on and off the screen. He was infamous for his wild parties, numerous romantic escapades, and a drinking habit that frequently led to public scandals. Flynn's fondness for alcohol began in his early years and quickly spiraled out of control. He would often show up to film sets hungover and sometimes still drunk. His drinking binges were well known in Hollywood circles, and stories of him partying until dawn before going straight to set were common. Despite his self-destructive lifestyle, Flynn's charisma and talent on screen remained undeniable, and he continued to land leading roles in films like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood. However, his reckless behavior caught up with him. By the 1950s, Flynn's health began to deteriorate rapidly. He was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, a direct result of years of heavy drinking. His once promising career began to decline, and he became a cautionary tale for other actors in the industry. Flynn passed away in 1959 at the age of 50, his life and career tragically shortened by his dependency on alcohol. John Belushi's comedic genius made him one of the most beloved actors of his time, but his personal struggles were overshadowed by a dangerous addiction to alcohol and drugs. Belushi rose to fame with his memorable role in Saturday Night Live and films like Animal House and The Blues Brothers. His wild, unpredictable energy and larger-than-life personality made him a comedic icon, but it was his self-destructive habits that would ultimately define his legacy. Known for his heavy drinking and drug use, Belushi often went on wild benders that left him unable to function at work. His party lifestyle was notorious in Hollywood, and many of his colleagues and friends spoke about his frequent drinking sessions that stretched into the early hours of the morning. While his talent was undeniable, Belushi's addiction created chaos on set and led to erratic behavior, even alienating some of his closest friends. By the time he was just 33 years old, Belushi's body couldn't handle the strain of years of excess. In 1982, he was found dead from a drug overdose at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles, ending a brilliant career far too soon. His death shocked the entertainment world and left behind a legacy of comedic brilliance, but also a tragic reminder of how addiction can ruin the brightest stars. Robert Shaw was a versatile and talented actor, known for his roles in films like Jaws, The Sting, and From Russia with Love. But despite his impressive career, Shaw's off-screen life was marked by a heavy reliance on alcohol, which began to take its toll both personally and professionally. Shaw's reputation for drinking was well known, and his alcohol-fueled rages were often the subject of gossip among his co-stars. His love for drinking started in his youth, and by the time he was a seasoned actor, it had become a significant problem. On set, Shaw could be erratic and difficult to work with due to his drinking. His behavior reportedly caused tensions on several productions, and it was clear that alcohol was impeding his once promising career. Despite this, he continued to deliver stellar performances, and his portrayal of Quint in Jaws remains one of his most iconic roles. Sadly, Shaw's struggles with alcohol didn't end well. In 1978, after years of battling his addiction, he passed away at the age of 51 from a heart attack. His health had been severely compromised by years of heavy drinking, and his death marked the loss of one of Hollywood's most gifted actors. Shaw's career is a testament to his talent, but also a tragic reminder of the dangers of substance abuse. Judy Garland is remembered as one of Hollywood's greatest talents, but her life was marred by personal struggles, including a long battle with alcohol and substance abuse. Known for her unforgettable role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Garland's life off-screen was anything but magical. Her career, which started when she was just a child, was overshadowed by her dependence on drugs and alcohol, which were often prescribed to her by studio doctors. From a young age, Garland was pushed to perform at a high level, and this pressure took a toll on her mental health. The studio system, which controlled every aspect of her life, fed her addiction by giving her pills to control her energy, appetite, and anxiety. By the time she reached adulthood, alcohol became her crutch, and her reliance on it only grew as she faced a series of personal and professional setbacks. Despite her struggles, Garland continued to deliver powerful performances, but her personal life was full of turmoil. Her marriages, career, and relationships were often affected by her erratic behavior, which was linked to her drinking and addiction. In 1969, Garland tragically passed away from an overdose at the age of 47, leaving behind a complicated legacy of both brilliance and brokenness. Her story serves as a heartbreaking reminder of the pressure Hollywood places on its stars and the destructive impact of addiction. Ava Gardner, one of Hollywood's most stunningly beautiful actresses, was equally infamous for her tumultuous personal life and struggles with alcohol. Known for her roles in films like The Barefoot Contessa and Mogambo, Gardner's beauty and talent made her a household name, but behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, she battled her demons. Gardner's relationship with alcohol began early in her career, and over time, it became one of her most enduring vices. She lived a lifestyle of excess, often drinking heavily at night after long days of filming. Her marriages to men like Frank Sinatra and Mickey Rooney were marked by emotional volatility, with alcohol playing a major role in her personal conflicts. Sinatra, in particular, had his own battles with drinking, and their relationship was filled with passionate arguments and reconciliation, much of it fueled by alcohol. Despite her inner turmoil, Gardner remained a beloved figure in Hollywood. Her career was constantly in the spotlight, and her performances never seemed to falter, even as her drinking spiraled out of control. In her later years, Gardner's health began to deteriorate, and alcohol, along with a series of smoking-related illnesses, took its toll. She passed away in 1990 from pneumonia, but her legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest actresses remains intact, though it is forever intertwined with the shadow of her personal struggles with alcohol. Ben Affleck, known for his impressive acting career and later success as a director, has publicly battled with alcohol addiction for many years. His struggles with drinking have been widely covered in the media, as Affleck's life seemed to play out under the scrutiny of the public eye. From his early days as a star in films like Good Will Hunting to later roles in Argo and The Batman, his talent was undeniable. However, behind his success was a constant battle with alcohol. Affleck has openly discussed how drinking became a way to cope with personal challenges, including his high-profile relationships and the pressures of fame. His drinking escalated at various points in his career, and his struggles were evident in his personal life, including his marriage to Jennifer Garner. There were reports of public intoxication and personal breakdowns, which led to several stints in rehab. Despite these challenges, Affleck has shown resilience, publicly committing to his recovery journey. He's become an advocate for addiction recovery, using his experiences to inspire others facing similar battles. His story of perseverance reminds the world that even those in the brightest spotlights are human, and their struggles are real. Today, Affleck continues to work in Hollywood, but his journey through addiction remains a part of his story, a testament to the importance of second chances. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. The lives of these stars may have been filled with incredible moments of triumph on screen, but they were also marred by personal struggles that many don't see. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more Hollywood stories.